And it could be months before we know the final numbers, but experts predict as many as 12,000 homes, businesses, and other structures are gone after the Eaton and Palisades fires tore through LA County, entire neighborhoods reduced to ash, and at least 25 people killed. The fires are set now to amplify California's already unstable insurance market. And here to discuss what's ahead is Karl Susman, an insurance agency owner and industry expert who is at the forefront at trying to help these families navigate this complex market at this time. Thank you so much for joining us, Karl.
Thank you, Giselle. I'm glad to be here.
Glad you are here. We need your advice and expertise. I know this has been a very trying time, not just for your insurance business, but for your own family. I understand you too had to evacuate. Your home is in Brentwood. How is your family? How is your home? Let's start there.
Thank you. Well, the family is everything, and they're fine. And as far as the home is concerned, as far as we know, everything is all right. And as long as the home is there, that's great. I'll take that. It's going to need some cleanup. And obviously, there's some spoilage. The power has been shut off to that area for a number of days. But I just keep coming back to the same thing. As long as my family is safe, then everything else we can deal with.
I hear you on that. We learned today that State Farm will offer renewals to some homeowners in LA County who previously had been notified their policies would be dropped. Talk to us about this development, and do you expect now, because of this crisis, to see other companies that left do the same, follow suit?
This was a great piece of information that I stumbled on this evening. It sounds so altruistic, so wonderful. And I've been in this business for 30 years. I know the industry well. I wish I could say that it was even a little bit of that. It turns out that last Thursday, the Department of Insurance sent out a bulletin telling every insurance company in the affected zip codes for any of these fires, and even the surrounding zip codes to the fire, that they no longer could non-renew a policy for a period of 12 months. On top of that, they said, if a policy cancels, you must offer the ability to reinstate that policy with the same terms and the same price, no questions asked. Today at 9 o'clock, shortly before State Farm's announcement, the Department of Insurance expanded that and said, not only are these zip codes that they previously mentioned not able to non-renew policies, they expanded the zip codes that were considered surrounding the wildfire. So while it is good that there are less people that will be non-renewed, it was done because the Department of Insurance said they had to do it.
Right. And your phone, obviously, has been ringing off the hook, trying to place policyholders who are desperate right now. Tell us what the biggest challenges are and what you're hearing from them. What are their biggest needs?
Their biggest concern right now is finding housing. And it's difficult because when you're looking at an area, let's say like the Palisades, people are in larger homes. So they're looking for larger homes to be able to move into. And there is really a finite number of homes that fit that bill. Unfortunately, there are some unsavory characters out there that are jacking up rents to levels that are completely inappropriate. There's actually a law, I think it's Penal Code 396, if I can remember from looking it up. You're not allowed to raise rent more than 10% above what it was prior to the natural disaster. But what we're seeing is 2, 3, 4, 5, 600% increases above what it was that they were listing those properties for before. So right now, the biggest challenge is people being able to find places to live while they're waiting for claims to be settled and eventually for construction on their homes to start again.
Right. And, you know, look, the insurance industry in California has not been changed, I understand, in 35 years. There were new regulations put in place just last month. Talk to me about those and how it will make a difference, going forward.
Thank goodness, because you're talking about the sustainable insurance strategy, which is a group of new regulations that do, as you say, update laws that are 30 plus years old. They have been working on them since September of 2023, finalized them in the last few weeks of December, literally weeks before this fire broke out. What they're going to do is allow the insurance industry to come back into California, aggressively come back, if you listen to some of the insurance carriers and what their plans are, offer coverage, be more granular in what they're charging, what they're underwriting, provide discounts for people that do things to make their homes less likely to burn, and overall just offer more coverage. I think we are so fortunate that this happened before the fire, because, nobody would want to pass any new laws in the midst of this type of a catastrophe. But now, having these on the books already, the industry can have a path forward to be able to know that once they write these big checks, they're going to be able to turn around and come out with the products that the Insurance Commission will approve and have coverage available for the residents in California.
Right. And what do you say to homeowners who've lost everything, who believe that the insurance carrier, State Farm and others, abandoned them, did not renew their policies, and left them in the lurch just weeks before this major disaster? They're frustrated. They feel betrayed. What do you say to them?
Well, you know, it is very frustrating, but at the same time, it makes a lot of sense. They saw this type of information in their data. They knew that this was potentially something that could happen. That's why they were non-renewing the risks. The idea is that with the new regulations, they'll be able to go to a consumer and say, here are your options. Here's the price if you don't do anything to protect your home. And here's how much you can save if you do all of these things to make your home less likely to burn. Incidentally, there are a few homes that withstood the fire in the Palisades where their neighbors on every side are not. And I think, I call them the big brains. The big brains are going to go in there and try and figure out what was it with these properties that made them stay standing when everything else around them burned. And I think that type of data is going to be unbelievably helpful as they start rebuilding, and everyone will end up with a safer property.
And everyone will end up being a big brain, too, and protect their homes in the right way. Thank you so very much, Karl Susman, for weighing in on such a critical issue, the insurance industry crisis here in California.